Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Saturday. This is I am STACEY THOMAS, Unrestricted, Unlimited. For those that are new that don't know me, why do I say unrestricted, unlimited? Simply do not put me or my guests in a box. Why? Because we have yet to see all that God has for us. And by you tuning in, let me say thank you. And today is like a day I normally don't do shows, but every now and then God puts somebody in front of you that when it's time to speak, you got to speak. You can't procrastinate. So before I introduce my guests, I want to play a video for you. You will understand why this video was played, what's its purpose, and what it has to do with the show. So hold on, everybody, while I check and make sure we're on all the platforms we need to be on. And enjoy this video by a young man named D. Flowers, and he's out of Texas.
So many questions about the scratch. I guess they represent how far we came. You get some wounds when you go to war. No time to play with games and cards. We made it past the picket fence and burglar bars and make a pallet on the floor. We took that anger to the court. Nobody never thought when we was growing up we almost lose our life in court. A hood knew what they took us for. We love stealing candy from the corner store cause ain't nobody show us more. Begging mama for the cookies in the grocery store. And I still try to steal them when she told me no. Can you forgive me for my sins? I need a Holy Ghost. I'm constantly distracted by the people that love me the most. They take my time and then they tell me I'm the only hope. God, when you test me, I just hope that it's an open note. A couple of months ago, my cousin had an overdose. They blame his pot and them, it got me careful when I'm smoking dope. You can't trust the soul where I come from. I always talk, double checking every register we ever bought. By the time I hit the streets, I knew that I was ready for them. I heard gunshots every night when I was on that porch. I promised mama as a youngin' I would play my part. We needed money, I ain't never mean to break your heart. I apologize, I went to jail back in time was hard. You never thought you'd see your baby boy behind the bars. Reminiscing about the nights we slept with candles in the dark. We was loyal, we ain't never wanted to tell me what we saw. CBS never understand how hard you fuck. Girl, you always been a hustler and you got it wrong. I only wish the niggas that you picked was up the pump. I wanna tell a story, but I can't even get start. Back when my mama had no car, me and my brother walked until I feel the soul. Cause we was poor. Post-traumatic stress from my hood got me traumatized and more. Cause it was war. Them chocolate sounds outside the door. Hear the pain in my voice and give me the floor. I'm sick and tired of seeing my partners die for sure. Give me a clip.
Drug company may have the cure.
They shot somebody, 30 shots. Everybody ducked down and laid down on the ground.
Blacks use drugs at the same rate as whites, but go to prison more.
Hello. Well, there you have it.
Can you hear me good?
I hear you now.
First, let me say hello, beautiful. I am very thankful to have you on the show. Anytime I believe that God has a strong message that needs to get out to the people, I'm thankful the way he connects us, right? Never did I know when I've heard someone else say your name so many freaking times. I've heard how wonderful you are, but I didn't realize there was so much more to you.
Absolutely.
So thank you for coming on the show.
And I thank you also.
First, let's start with the name of the agency, or I'm not sure, the firm. Let's start with the name. What are you representing?
So I'm representing Never Ever Too Late Foundation. That's a foundation that was discovered and built on protecting and educating the youth. What I mean by that is educating them not only in school but in life, educating them on the system, the law, how to build themselves up to prevent themselves from getting into this.
Okay. And it's Never Too Late Ministries, huh?
Never ever too late. Never ever too late foundation. Yes, it's a ministry.
Foundation.
Absolutely.
And Monique, and I hope I'm not being too comfortable. I like to call my guests by their names and make them feel comfortable. The song that was played by Mr. Flowers,
Right.
what exactly does that song have to do with why you're on this show?
Wow. I'm glad you asked that. So in this song, I'm pretty sure you guys heard, so many questions about the scars. That's how he started the song off. In that song, you'll find little pieces of urban psychosis. The whole idea of the song was to introduce people who didn't know or who didn't recognize the thoughts of a young black in America, or a young black man in poverty.
Wow. So with that said, and I didn't plan for this and I'm not trying to take up all your time,
Mhm.
you've explained that. Can I play it one more time?
Right.
Okay.
Go ahead. Perfect.
So many questions about the scars. I guess they represent how far we came. You get some wounds when you go to war. No time to play with games and cards. We made it past the picket fish and burglar bars and make a pallet on the floor. We took that anger to the court. Nobody never thought when we was growing up we almost lose our life in court. A hood knew what they took us for. We love stealing candy from the corner store cause ain't nobody show us more. Begging mama for the cookies in the grocery store. And I still try to steal them when she told me no. Lord, can you forgive me for my sins? I need a Holy Ghost. I'm constantly distracted by the people that love me the most. They take my time and then they tell me I'm the only hope. God, when you test me, I just hope that it's an open note. A couple of months ago, my cousin had an overdose. They blame his pot and them, it got me careful when I'm smoking dope. You can't trust a soul where I come from, how I was taught. Double checking every register we ever bought. By the time I hit the streets, I knew that I was ready for them. I heard gunshots every night when I was on that porch. I promised mama as a youngin' I would play my part. We needed money, I ain't never mean to break your heart. I apologize, I went to jail back when time was hard. You never thought you'd see your baby boy behind the bars. Reminiscing about the nights we slept with candles in the dark. We was loyal, we ain't never wanted to tell them what we saw. CBS never understand how hard you fought. Girl, you always been a hustler and you got it wrong. My only wish to niggas that you pick was up the pump. I wanna tell a story, but I can't even pick a start. Back when my mama had no car, me and my brother walked until our feet was sore, cause we was poor. Post-traumatic stress from my hood got me traumatized and more, cause it was war. Them chopper sounds outside the door, hear the pain in my voice and give me the floor. I'm sick and tired of seeing my partners die for sure. Give me a cure.
Drug company may have the cure.
They shot something about 30 shots. Everybody ducked down and laid down on the ground.
Blacks use drugs at the same rate as whites, but go to prison more.
Whoo! Monique. Who is D Flowers? Why did he make this song?
Right. So D Flowers is very dear to my heart. He's my second born son. He's actually a popular Houston, Texas rap artist right now. He's a musician and he's just a freedom fighter. Um, he's representing poverty right now. He's fighting for the freedom mentally, physically, spiritually, financially for the youth that are all coming behind him. So in that song, you'll notice where he speaks on our struggle and what we went through, and he tells it. This is from a teenager going into a 21-year-old man, black man in America, where the father is not in the home, the streets are there, they're loud and they're clear, and everything's been laid out before him, but there hasn't been any pattern set before him as an example to achieve these dreams and achieve these goals. But there's been a system set up that if you make one mistake, they'll attempt to take your whole life away. And so that's what that song is about. The drugs in the community, the fathers removed from the homes, the gunshots, the guns in the community, uh, the low education, uh, just everything about poverty has been in that song.
Wow, a bold individual, and he's not only thinking about his career, but he's joined with you in this freedom fight, huh?
Right.
Okay, okay. Monique, why? No, let me say this. Your fight that you have going on,
right,
what you're advocating for, what you're boldly speaking out loud for. Obviously, there's no fear. Where is this boldness coming from?
Whew. I am absolutely, without a doubt, confident on change. I have this crazy faith, and there are a lot of people like me out there. I have this crazy faith, and I have this crazy strength from my creator, and I just have this mindset that there will be a change coming, and I have the confidence of change. So you have to be confident in that change. You
Okay.
can't be fearful of what
Okay.
may happen, what may not be, or what may not change. Just helping that one person motivates me every day.
You sound very passionate. So now I want to know what made you create this foundation. What made you create this foundation? And maybe that's the reason you're so passionate.
Absolutely. It's not the only reason I'm passionate, but the main reason that I'm passionate is because I experienced what a lot of parents and a lot of minorities and a lot of people are going through firsthand. I've experienced it from ground up. I've experienced the poverty, the no father in the home, and then I've experienced an incarcerated loved one also. And I was there for the whole case, and I was there looking at all the details. I was there for the struggle, fighting for him in the school system, and they still locked him up and attempted to throw away the key. And I noticed that when we are educated in the law, and when we do stand up for our people, and we do show that support in that area for our people, what can happen, the good that can come out of it. And no matter what they try to use for bad, we can turn it around for good. And I've actually put that into action already.
Wow. You've actually went to one of the questions I had later, because I'm sure, people are quick to look at what you're doing. Very quick to say, she's not a lawyer. She's not a judge. She hasn't sat on anybody's bench doing anything. What makes her think she's the one that's supposed to stand up for the others?
Strong. One word. She's strong.
Wow.
She's equipped. See, when you look at a flower and you look at what a flower does, a flower blooms, right? A flower is supposed to flourish, right? And it's supposed to prosper. A flower is very delicate. It may need certain things to grow, but once it blooms, it prospers. That is the purpose of a flower. It's just to bloom.
So
And that's all that we're trying to do. We're attempting to put in place things for the youth to just bloom, to just to just prosper, to just flourish, to just live out their lives. The quality of life is what we're fighting for here in the inner city, dealing with poverty. The quality of life has been so controlled by the government and by the prison system. I mean, we haven't had much to, give to our youth. We all have to go back and bridge that gap in for our youth.
So is it because you know what goes on in the prison system? Is that one of the reasons you're trying to educate and protect the youth? Because you're trying to...
No, not only, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, not only what goes on in the prison system, what goes on in the streets. It starts at the streets when the police pull you over. It starts in the classroom where the teacher pencil whips you and she gives you a bad name, and that follows you throughout your school career. So that's a mark on your back and if your parents aren't educated in that area, you don't have any representation as a child. So they know that if they build up so many tallies that you may end up in the juvenile system. So it starts from elementary, it starts from school, and then when they pull you over, in another instance, when the police pull you over, how they treat you, how they look at you, if your hair or your clothes or it isn't appropriate, or your skin color, how they look at that, how they ostracize us from the rest of the majority. So we want to start there. We don't just I'm not just only concerned about the prison system, because of course they have our prisoners locked up, and they don't give them their meds. They don't let them out of the prisons in time. They don't, they take a lot of our prisoners' rights away if they don't allow them to do their time properly. That's the end of all the drama. That's the end of all the problem.
So,
So
and
we
and
want
I
to
know
start
we
from the beginning, middle, and then the end.
okay, and I know there's going to be a part two to this that gets even really deeper. So I'm not going to ask
Yeah.
too many questions, but
Right.
you guys, and Texas is no bigger than any. Well, it is bigger, but it's no different. People are people everywhere you go. But you guys are really ranking up there with a whole, as far as who has the most prisons, who has the most prisoners, huh?
Right. Yeah, we're definitely down south dealing with all the Jim Crow laws. We were a friend of mine's. We were just discussing this last night. We're just actually living the Jim Crow laws, and we'll get into that in the second interview, because those laws are still in place for all the down south states. We're actually living it out. I mean, they say the government and the statutes and all of the laws, they act like they've changed, and they talk like they changed, and all the politicians speak change, but we're actually living out Jim Crow laws as we speak. Modern day slavery is here. And that's another thing that I'm here for. I'm here to educate the youth on modern day slavery, like not only to help them with decision making and cognitive skills to make better choices before they get into the prison system, but to also educate them on, you're being watched, you're being set up, you're being bamboozled, you're being tricked. This is all a trick, and you need to accomplish your goal, and don't get tricked into the system. You need to accomplish the main goal. You need to see the bigger picture here.
And the things that you're saying,
Mhm.
I don't know about your area, but the mentality that I've been around, sometimes people seem to think after 17 or 18, you can't teach them anything. We're not going to give up on them because of what, Monique? They're still maturing.
Girl, let's get into that. Okay. So my thing is, there have been multiple studies showing that the age of, I guess, between 16 to 25, that the cognitive decision-making skill is not fully developed. Multiple studies have been showing that between 17 and 25, they're not even fully developed on the decision-making skills. All of us can attest to that. I mean, no one is innocent between that age group. That's when they're getting in the most trouble, and now they're giving out double digits in the prisons to lock them up from that age, 17 to 25, to keep them until they're in their senior citizen age. It's all rigged up. So to get back to your question, that 17 to 25 is the most pivotal age for turnaround. It's the best age to turn around and turn their life into a good story. One time offense is just not enough to throw that child away and lock them up and throw away the key. That's not enough. One time offense for a 17 to 25-year-old, for not a non-habitual offender or a non-habitual mistake, they shouldn't be locked up. They shouldn't. They are very impressionable at that age, and they still have some learning to do. They should be allowed that.
We have a couple people. We're not going to get into politics, but I just want to, as an advocate yourself, I just want to know, how do you feel when someone says to you, without calling any names, I did my job, and in doing my job, I gave the max sentence?
I'm very sure that that person is selfish and doesn't have a soul. They've already sold out, and we need to call them out and remove them. Call
Already
them
sold out.
out. And they need to be investigated.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they need to be investigated. There needs to be a full investigation. That person is selfish and they just don't have a soul. And they need to be, the way that they're judging, they need to be judged.
So with the
So
same,
this can stop.
so with the same be said for the individual that doesn't care where they grew up at, they were around, what school they went to, how much money they went to. Those are things that we should be concerned about, correct?
We should, the functioning of a person, all, it's an environmental thing. That's why they've been doing, like I said before, urban psychosis. It's an environmental thing. You take someone and you put them in this box, and you put them in this type of environment, and then they try to get out of this box and they make a mistake trying to get out of this box. They make a mistake, they make the wrong choice because of the environment they're in, and you try to put them away forever and lock them up. That's just not that's looking at the person as cattle or livestock or sheep, not a person. A person and a human being, they have human rights, and you should too. You should be a human about it, but they look at them as a number. It's just a system built and designed on numbers, and we want to take people like me and others that I've been talking to, we want to take those numbers and eat at them little by little. We want to look at each case as an individual if possible.
Okay, couple more questions. I know you're a busy woman.
No, I'm fine.
I just want to lead up because I know on the next show we have is going to be a very powerful show. But people that are looking at what you're fighting for and who you're fighting for, some will say they had a choice. They had a choice whether to do right or to do wrong, and they chose wrong. So whatever falls on them falls on them. So why are you still fighting for the youth, Monique, if they had a choice?
Because we all had a choice and we all made that mistake. We just made that mistake in a different way. But all of us were not punished the same, and we did not have the same opportunity. It's all about that.
Okay. What's the vision? What do you see for next? It's not never too late. What do you see?
That's what I mean. It's never ever too late. So what I see is we're attempting to do. We don't know if we want to do it in 2020 with all that's going on with COVID, but we're doing it, by telephone. We're doing talk therapy. We're doing cognitive therapy. We're doing natural healing. We're teaching credit classes and teaching the youth how to purchase land, and getting them into the honing on their skills and talents with the music business and all of that. So we have a couple of friends like you heard in the music business who are like taking them underneath their wings and trying to get them focused on just business and using their talents and their skills. So we're thinking about calling it Naturally's Healing House, because we have a few vegans in there teaching them how to eat right, and cooking in the kitchen with them and giving them different herbs and natural healings and different things to balance out their hormone levels, and just taking care of the youth and the people from the inside out. So usually when you're introduced to these things, you have more choices to choose from. Giving me one or two choices is not enough. They need more choices. So we're creating the Naturally's Healing House.
And this is for you don't have to be a wealthy young person to ask for help. This is for anybody.
Right. No, most of the things that we're doing will be personalized upon what that person actually needs. It starts with talk therapy, so we'll be volunteering that. We work on donations. We work with our, just the community in general. For now, we're just introducing them to a new way of life, health, wealth, and just focusing. Oh yes, one more thing. We're accepting volunteers who would love to teach the youth about the law, because the law is very important for the youth to know now. There are a lot of new laws that have went into place, and on up to 30 years old, they don't know it. They don't know it. It's like trial and error. We're sick of trial and error. We want to know the laws. We want to understand the system so that we can perform better. So
that's right.
What we're looking for.
Okay, last question. You know, it's hard for me, but I got to remind myself there's a part two. What challenges
Yeah, 'cause
have you been facing any challenges? Anybody opposing what you're doing?
no,
Okay.
not at all.
Okay.
Not
Well,
at all.
well,
Well,
Monique,
this is what I will say to add to that question, because I can talk about this subject all day. I will say that no one is opposing me, but a lot of people are not stepping up when the time comes. They're like, they're not stepping up when the time comes. But behind closed doors, they're supporting, they're doing all that. But I need more people to take time out of their day and come out. Like, I have all the support behind closed doors, but I need the actual community to take the time out and come back and support our youth. Let's stop all these the police brutality. Let's assist with that. Let's help create new laws. Let's get the politicians in on it. Let's continue to educate the teachers, um, counsel the psychiatrists, lawyer up with the lawyers. Let's partner up with these people, because experience is your best teacher.
yeah, and I add something else to that.
Mhm.
And while Monique's asking for this type of support, remember, don't wait until it's you that goes through this. Don't wait until it's your cousin or your friend. Everybody should fight for something. So why not assist in fighting for the youth in Texas?
You got
Monique,
it. You got it. It starts here, and then it's gonna go around globally. Yeah,
how,
we're going global.
okay, before we go, is there anything you feel like you say this for me, Monique? You said something to me one time.
Okay.
Just in case there's a mother on here that's having issues with a youth and doesn't have a father, and the child gets in trouble and the child goes in the system. I mentioned to you one time that we worry about when that happens. What did you say about young people, Monique?
I said to you, dear sister, that most of the time, us as parents and us as the community, we look and we get fearful for the youth. We get so afraid for them. We're like, oh, they can't take it, and oh my God, we have to save them, and they don't know how to. They can't fight this fight. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. But I want to tell you, as a mother who's been there before, who has been there with her child before, that your children are smarter and stronger than you will ever know. And God will tell you this himself. You can't tell your child their power or their pain. Hang in there. It'll get greater. Just hang
Hey,
in there.
thank you,
Your children are
sweetheart.
very strong.
If someone needs to
The
reach you,
youth are the future.
how
Right.
can
The youth are the future, right? The youth are our future. You just have to recognize that. Don't let them be locked up and thrown away.
okay, and how can you be reached, Monique, if there's somebody that wants to support you?
Great, great. I can be reached right now at 832-989-3373, or at let's see which email. I will do naturally in well, I'll put it we'll add it to the will you be able to add it?
What's the number?
It's 832
Okay,
989 3373. And it's
3373.
yeah, it's Naturally's Healing House. So
Now,
I'm not sure. Yeah, we're not on that Facebook channel right now, so we'll just add it in on here.
okay, so there we are. Is that
Mhm.
correct?
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm not going to hold you up much longer, but I'm going to play the young man's song again. So it kind of resonates. People can,
Right.
a lot of times you have to play things more than once for people to really get it. And in the meantime,
Right. Absolutely. And I just want to say thank you, Stacy, for your time. I could go on and on about this subject forever. It's so passionate to me and for me and other mothers like me. So I just want to say thank you from all the other mothers and fathers and parents that are going through this.
well, hey, if you're doing something to help people, you're advocating, motivating, inspiring, educating, this platform is open to you. I look forward to seeing you for part two. In the
Hmm.
meantime, take care and thank you again for blessing my platform with your presence.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see you again.
Bye-bye. Okay, so thank you guys. Thank you very much for checking out STACEY Thomas Unrestricted Unlimited Talk Show. So please feel free, if you have a story, if you're advocating for something you think we need to talk about it, email me at IamStaceyThomas@gmail.com. Okay, check out my books on Amazon. Check out my t-shirt line. Before we leave, let's listen to D Flowers one more time. Be sure to follow him on social media. Check out what that young man has.
So many questions about the scars. I guess they represent how far we came. You get some wounds when you go to war. No time to play with games and cards. We made it past the picky fish and burglar bars and make a pallet on the floor. We took that anger to the court. Nobody never thought when we was growing up we almost lose our life in court. A hood of what they took us for. We love stealing candy from the corner store cause ain't nobody show us more. Begging mama for the cookies in the grocery store. And I still try to steal them when she told me no. Lord, can you forgive me for my sins? I need a Holy Ghost. I'm constantly distracted by the people that love me the most. They take my time and then they tell me I'm the only hope. God, when you test me, I just hope that it's an open note. A couple of months ago, my cousin had an overdose. They blame his pot and them, it got me careful when I'm smoking dope. You can't trust the soul where I come from, how I was taught. Double checking every register we ever bought. By the time I hit the streets, I knew that I was ready for them. I heard gunshots every night when I was on that porch. I promised mama as a youngin' I would play my part. We needed money, I ain't never mean to break your heart. I apologize, I went to jail back when time was hard. You never thought you'd see your baby boy behind the bars. Reminiscing about the nights we slept with candles in the dark. We was loyal, we ain't never wanna tell them what we saw. CBS never understand how hard you fought. Girl, you always been a hustler and you got it wrong. My only wish to niggas that you pick was up the pump. I wanna tell a story, but I can't even pick a start. Back when my mama had no car, me and my brother walked until our feet was sore, cause we was poor. Post-traumatic stress from my hood got me traumatized and more, cause it was war. Them chopper sounds outside the door, hear the pain in my voice and give me the floor. I'm sick and tired of seeing my partners die for sure. Give me a cure.
Drug company may have the cure.
They shot something about 30 shots. Everybody ducked down and laid down on the ground.
Blacks use drugs at the same rate as whites, but go to prison more.
Until next time, don't stress too much about yesterday or worry too much about tomorrow. If you do, you just might miss living today. Thank you.